This is the story of beautiful Amaka, who pretends to be disabled to find true love, but everything changes when she meets Ifani, who loves her sincerely. In the bustling city of Enugu, where the sun kissed the red earth and okadas weave through traffic like restless bees, lived a young woman named Amaka. Beautiful, with eyes like melted honey and skin the color of polished mahogany, Amaka had grown tired of the way men pursued her, not for who she was, but for how she looked. After one too many heartbreaks, Amaka made a bold decision. She would no longer reveal her true self. Instead, she would pretend to be sick, not terminal, but something that would push away superficial admirers. She would move as though paralyzed from the waist down, aided by old crutches she found in her late uncle's storage room. Her best friend, Chidinma, tried to talk her out of it, but Amaka was determined. "If a man can love me like this," Amaka said, tapping her crutches, "then maybe he deserves to know the real me." The first time she stepped out into the world in her new disguise, heads turned. But not like before. Whispers followed her. Some people showed pity. Others, mostly young men, laughed behind her back. She heard them. "See fine girl like this, now na crutches she day waka with. Wahala no day finish," one boy said, nudging his friend. "Who go on marry that one," another jeered. Amaka swallowed her pride. Each day, she walked with difficulty, playing her part to perfection. At the local church, she offered to help with children's Sunday school. There, she met Ifani, a tall, soft-spoken young man who volunteered with the church choir. Unlike the others, Ifani never looked at her with pity or suspicion. He greeted her kindly, often helping her with the heavy children's books and sharing quiet jokes. Days turned to weeks, and their friendship blossomed. One Sunday afternoon, as the sun dipped behind the mango trees, Ifani walked her to the gate after service. "You know something, Amaka," he said, his voice low and thoughtful. "I think you're one of the strongest people I've ever met." She blinked, surprised. "Because I walk with crutches?" He smiled. "No. Because you smile like you're not hurting. Because you help others when you're clearly in pain yourself. That kind of strength, that's rare." For the first time in a long while, Amaka's heart fluttered. She wanted to tell him the truth, but fear held her tongue. What if he thought she was mocking people who were truly paralyzed? What if he walked away? So she said nothing. And yet, Ifani stayed. They began to spend more time together. Walks in the park, slow, patient strolls. Evening phone calls that stretched past midnight. He never questioned her condition. Never asked what happened. He simply accepted her as she was. But the world wasn't so kind. At a wedding they both attended, a group of young men from her university days spotted her. They remembered the old Amaka, the one who danced like the wind and never needed help. One of them, Obina, approached with a smirk. "Ah, Amaka. So now like this we go see you again. Crutches ko. You day do magic show." Laughter followed. Amaka froze. Ifani stepped forward, placing himself between her and the group. "Is this how you treat someone who's done nothing to you?" he asked coldly. Obina scoffed. "Guy, relax. Not joke." "It's not funny," Ifani said. Then, turning to Amaka, he whispered, "You don't have to stand this. Let's go." They left, hand in hand. But Amaka knew she couldn't keep the lie forever. That night, Amaka couldn't sleep. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling fan spinning lazily above her. Ifani's words echoed in her mind, "You don't have to stand this." The irony wasn't lost on her. She could stand. She could walk. She could even dance if she wanted to. But she had chosen not to. The lie was growing heavier by the day. By morning, her heart was set. She would tell him. That evening, they met at their usual spot under the flame tree by the old Anglican church. The sun was setting, casting gold over the dusty earth. Ifani arrived first, holding a sachet of Zobo drink and a bag of chin-chin, their usual. When Amaka arrived, she was on her crutches, but something in her eyes was different. Determined. "Ifani," she said, not taking the drink he offered. "I need to talk to you. Please listen, and don't say anything until I finish." He nodded, sensing the weight in her voice. She took a deep breath, then, slowly, stepped away from the crutches. 1 step. 2. 3. Ifani's eyes widened. "You're walking." "Yes," she said, her voice trembling. "I can walk. I'm not sick. I was never paralyzed." Silence. She told him everything: the heartbreaks, the men who chased her beauty and not her heart, the decision to pretend, the stares, the laughter, and the pain of living a lie. Her voice cracked, but she pushed through. "I never meant to hurt you. I just wanted someone who would love me for me. And you were the first person who looked at me like I mattered beyond the surface." Ifani was silent, watching her. When she finished, she stood there, bare before him, no crutches, no mask, only truth. Finally, he spoke. "I won't lie, Amaka. This is a lot." Her heart sank. "But," he continued, taking a step toward her, "you were right about one thing. I didn't fall for your legs. I fell for your heart. Your kindness. Your courage. Even now, especially now, I respect you more for telling me the truth." Tears welled in her eyes. "So you're not angry?" "I'm surprised. Maybe a little hurt. But not angry. If anything, I'm glad I know the real Amaka now. And guess what? I still want to be around her." Amaka let out a breath she didn't realize she was holding. But not everyone shared Ifani's grace. Word spread. Fast. In markets, on WhatsApp statuses, even during small fellowship gatherings. The girl that pretended to be crippled. Some called her manipulative. Others said she was cursed. Some men who once admired her now jeered openly, mocking her for being desperate. One Sunday, she entered the church without her crutches. The whispers started immediately. "Na lie. I knew it. Yoruba film no do reach this one." But as she walked down the aisle to her seat, head held high, Ifani stood from the choir stand and walked beside her. He took her hand in his, faced the congregation, and said calmly, "If you're going to talk to both of us." It silenced the room. And that was when Amaka realized something deeper: love wasn't just about affection. It was about choosing each other even when the world chooses to misunderstand. Amaka and Ifani became inseparable. Their love grew stronger in the shadows of gossip and side eyes. Every Sunday, they sat together, not in defiance, but in quiet unity. When people stared, they stared back with grace. When whispers rose, they responded with silence. They had nothing to prove. But life, as always, had more to test them with. One rainy Tuesday afternoon, Amaka's mother, Mama Ifananya, showed up unannounced. A woman of fierce pride and strong opinions, she had heard the rumors and was far from pleased. "You pretended to be crippled, Amaka," she said, arms folded as rain drummed on the zinc roof. "Have you no shame? This is not how I raised you." Amaka sat still, letting her mother's anger wash over her. "I did it to protect myself, Mama. To protect my heart. You always told me beauty can be a curse. You saw the way men treated me. I was tired. Tired of being a prize, not a person." Mama Ifananya shook her head, tears of frustration brimming in her eyes. "And now? You've dragged this family's name through the mud. Do you know how people are talking about us at the women's meeting?" But before Amaka could respond, Ifani walked in, soaked from the rain, holding a plastic bag of fruits and suya. He greeted Mama Ifananya with a bow. "Good afternoon, Ma." She barely nodded. "Ma, I know you may not like me right now. You may not like what Amaka did. But please, let me say this." She stared at him, lips tight. "I don't care what people say. I love your daughter. With her crutches, without her crutches, lie or truth, I still choose her. She's the most courageous woman I've ever met." The room went still. Mama Ifananya looked between the two of them, her frown slowly softening. For a moment, the only sound was the rain easing outside. She finally said. "You're still young. Let's see how long that love will last." But she didn't say more. And that, to Amaka, was a start. Weeks passed. Amaka began to volunteer with a local NGO that supported people with physical disabilities. Not out of guilt, but because her time pretending had opened her eyes. She met people who lived with real challenges, whose spirits were stronger than their limbs. They welcomed her, some even laughing when she told them her story. "You tried our life for size, and you still day walk. Be good to be you, oh," one woman said, slapping Amaka playfully on the back. Through this work, Amaka found healing. Her shame faded, replaced by purpose. Ifani, ever her anchor, stood beside her at every event. He even taught the children in wheelchairs how to sing and play small drums. Their bond became deeper than romance. They were partners, in love and in life. But just as peace settled in, an old flame returned. Tund, the boy who had broken Amaka's heart years ago. The very reason she had started her journey of pretense. He had left for Canada, then returned with money, status, and ego. He spotted Amaka at a wedding reception. She was radiant in a green lace gown, laughing beside Ifani. "Amaka," Tund called, approaching with swagger. "Ah. You still fine like fire. I've been day hear stories, but look at you now, complete package." Amaka smiled politely. "Tund. Long time. You know even tell me say you day single now. I hear say you day fake disability, but e no concern me. I know you were just trying to hide that fine body from all these boys. But I'm back now. Ifani no reach. Let's talk." Before Amaka could speak, Ifani stepped forward calmly. He extended a hand. "I'm Ifani. Her complete package. You were saying." Tund looked between them, scoffed, then walked away with a fake laugh, embarrassed. Amaka turned to Ifani, eyes shining. "You really enjoy showing up for me, don't you?" He grinned. "Only every single time." And for the first time in a long while, Amaka felt the past truly let. A year later, Amaka stood in front of a mirror, dressed in a soft ivory lace gown. Her hair was woven into a crown of braids, adorned with white beads that shimmered gently as she moved. The room buzzed with laughter and excitement, bridesmaids adjusting gelly, aunties spraying perfume, her mother pacing nervously with joy etched into her every wrinkle. It was her wedding day. Outside, beneath a white canopy decorated with fresh hibiscus and palm fronds, Ifani waited, his igbata starched to perfection, eyes locked on the path where she would soon appear. As the music began, and Amaka took her first step down the aisle, walking confidently, no crutches, no act, just herself, the crowd stood. Some were people who once mocked her. Some still whispered. But most were smiling, clapping, and even cheering. Because in the end, Amaka's story wasn't about deception. It was about courage. About stripping away all that the world demanded she be, just to find someone who could love her as she truly was. When she reached the altar, Ifani took her hand, smiled, and whispered, "Still walking with you." She whispered back, "Forever." The ceremony was full of dancing, jollof rice, and joy. Mama Ifananya danced like a woman 20 years younger, shouting praises and spraying naira like confetti. Chidinma gave a wild speech that had the crowd in stitches, ending with, "To think this all started with one mad idea." After the wedding, Amaka and Ifani launched a foundation, the True Walk Initiative, supporting people with physical disabilities and educating youths about empathy, authenticity, and inner worth. Amaka would often share her story online, saying, "You don't have to break yourself just to be loved. Just be real. Be brave. And walk your truth." If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your opinion below. What would you have done if you were Amaka or Ifani? Would you forgive a lie for the sake of love? Let's talk in the comments.